Bitcoin day trading mechanics. So you might have noticed this week we've been really diving deep on trading crypto, how we want to trade it, what access we have, what are the mechanics around trading it, because we're excited for the small crypto futures launch next week, the first stock market in crypto. It's going to have Bitcoin, Ethereum, AMD, Coinbase, NVIDIA, Riot Blockchain, and so many other stocks, really creating a nice full-fledged crypto stock market in there with some of the digital assets and a high correlation to Bitcoin, which is what we're talking about today. And I want to get people some mechanics as this industry matures and the price action in the industry matures, but also your access to these markets grows and that piece of it matures as well. I really think this is a time here nearing the end of 2021 where we're getting to a big hump for people, where people who have kind of been a holdout in the crypto space are finally starting to, myself included, are finally starting to be a little bit more comfortable with investing there, or at very least day trading in there and buying and selling and buying with relative ease, just given how much opportunity the price action has shown. And you look at this year here in Bitcoin, and if I didn't label it, from just a mean reversion or contrarian trader's perspective, this is, I fall in love with a chart like this. I mean, the market has doubled and then come all the way back to unchanged and then gone right back to the middle of the range here, all in 1 year. It's a beautiful thing to see when you just talk about active market participants who would rather trade both sides of a market than buy something, hold it, and just hope and wait for it to appreciate in value, especially a market like Bitcoin here that's obviously up several thousands of percentage points in the last couple of years. And as it matures, it'll mature in a sense of like, is, 50,000, give or take $10,000, is that the maturity price there? Or is it 100,000? Is it back down to 30 or 20 or 10,000? The buy and holders are kind of vulnerable there. They're of course, they have access to potentially great growth just being long there. But, you start to think of like gold between 1,500 and 2,000. What is that range going to look like for Bitcoin here? Is it going to be closer to 100,000 or closer to 10,000? I don't know. And that's why I just love trading the day to day. And while the day to day looks great, the intraday moves are absolutely huge and ones to definitely be looking to jump on top of. You've got a market right now sitting around $40,000 that on a daily basis has a standard deviation of $2,000. That's a lot of movement, a lot of price points, just a lot of places for me to get in and out of the market. Now, quickly, I want to go over what the standard deviation is, what it tells us, because if I'm a day trader, I'm looking for big moves, no matter what the asset class is. And so what I need to know about Bitcoin is, what is a big move? And a standard deviation lets you know that, because a standard deviation essentially takes a data set and tells you with a certain level of confidence, 68%, 95%, and 99% confidence, where that next data point is going to go. So in terms of daily moves in Bitcoin, it's saying with 68% confidence, this market's going to settle within, at the end of the day, plus or minus $2,000. Now I've got 95% confidence that it's going to move inside of $4,000, and then almost 100% confidence that it stays within $6,000. And this all makes sense, I think, from a conceptual level as well, which is like, Bitcoin only moves more than $6,000 in a given day, like once or twice per year. It moves more than $4,000 in a given day, a handful of times per year. It moves more than $2,000 in a given day, like, via these statistics, about 30% of the time. So like maybe once a week, twice a week. And that's really, to me, between the 1 and 2 standard deviations in any market, that's where I'm really looking for day trade opportunity. And what's really nice about standard deviations, as a quick aside, is you can put them on any market that has price and history of that price, and give yourself a good range for what the next day is going to bring. I mean, a lot of people who watch the program know that we do this for, stock markets. We do this for crude oil, gold, all these different markets. And it helps us, to see like, oh, a standard deviation in gold is $20. Okay, well, when it's up or down $30 or $40, that's when there's some action to be had as a day trader. And that makes sense as well, right? Like, if the standard deviation in Bitcoin is $2,000 and the market's up or down $300, just my brain having watched this market tells me like, I don't know whether to buy it or sell it. Like where's the opportunity in the market on an inside day like that? There usually isn't some. And that's why we grab these standard deviations and we apply them to all these different asset classes, Bitcoin being the main focus here, and Bitcoin being the newest one that we're adding to our dashboard. And we just say, all right, it's Tuesday, September 7th. What's moving? It was Bitcoin. And this was actually the biggest range in the last couple of months. And I wanted to bring it up just to show you now, like, okay, we found how to find a big move here. This is the region of that big move. It starts the day at around, let's just round it off to $50,000. It dips by 20 grand and then does a lot of trading back and forth here before settling back around $47,000. So starts at 50,000, dips about 2,000, and then moves lower and then bounces back. And that's this red region of like, until then it's an inside day and then it's an outside day outside of that one standard deviation. That's where the day trading really comes in. And I chose an extraordinarily large day. Like this is as you can see here, high to low of around $7,000, $7,000. This is a 2-3 standard deviation move. So it's a big one that we see a handful of times per year, whereas we see once or twice a week what we're seeing today, actually, which is a $2,000 plus move in Bitcoin. But I wanted to use it to show you some of the mechanics of, if I'm a contrarian, I see the big move here in Bitcoin, what I'm doing on a day trade basis. So market starts around 50,000. It dips that one standard deviation there and it's moved lower. And if I'm a contrarian, I'm looking to buy and looking to sell it a little bit higher in the same day. If I'm a trend follower, which I am not, but for the sake of just giving both sides of the story, then I'm looking to sell and looking for this market to just continue that move. And what's great about that is like, you can tell for yourself which you're going to be. And in any given day, any given year, both of those ideas can and should make sense with the right mechanics and the right statistics that they're using there. And you can see in this chart, when the market dips $2,000, you can absolutely sell that thing, be a trend follower, and make some quick money. Contrarians usually try to, ride the turn of the wave the other way. And so here in this example, you've got a big move lower, starting from around 50,000, gets to 48,000. That's that one standard deviation. I'm looking to buy there, but, and this is what I do, and I think a lot of traders out there do, I set myself up with realistic expectations for where I'm going to mechanically get out of this position. And so if I'm entering at one standard deviation lower, that's where I'm buying, then I got to be ready to take profits or losses at something that's reasonable. Like if I'm buying the market down one standard deviation, I probably can't expect for it to move all the way back up one standard deviation. The market moves from day to day, and to think that it's going to come all the way back to unchanged is a little foolish. But thinking on a day that it's moved down a big amount, that it'll come back to something more reasonable, that's where we make our living here day trading. Now you see here, market dips $2,000. I buy the 48,000s and immediately I'm wrong. Market moves to 47,000 and I'm out for my loss there at 47,000. What's really nice on these big days and on any given day, any given market, is now that I'm out at 47,000, I afford myself the flexibility to get right back in that market. And on this day, market goes down $2,000. I buy at 48. It gets down another 1,000. That's my half standard deviation mechanical marker. I'm out for a loss. And then it moves another $2,000 lower to 45,000. If I buy there, the market bounced back there. And I'm actually at a scratch on what was a big move lower. And actually that move that was, 2-3 standard deviations, the rare move, even on the rare moves, my day trading mechanics can bring me back to a scratch if I just bought it and held it to the end of the day, I'd be out a couple $1,000 in this trade. And this is a really exciting way to trade this new and exciting market, in my view, day trading here, not going home with overnight risk or anything else. And you've got the movement here in Bitcoin. And actually, we've got it up to the minute. I bring up the Tastyworks platform here to show you that the Bitcoin futures, which are entirely too large, and these fees are entirely too much, Bitcoin futures here showing this market up about $2,200 on the day, and that's outside that standard deviation. And now what I'll usually do is I'll say, okay, $2,000 is a standard deviation, and that came in right about 43,000, just above 43,000 here today. And I'll wait for like a punch on an update like this, a punch higher. And you see, this is where the opportunities were to sell in this. Is it got up over a standard deviation, tried to punch higher, it came all the way back, did it again this morning and came all the way back for a nice scalp. And now here, if the market does get back up to, 43,500 or 44,000, that's a selling opportunity. This market, this idea works across every market in both directions once you have those statistics on them and a product that works. This BTC market, not a product that works. MBT a little bit closer here. Still the fees high, the margins high on this. If I wanted to sell here, it's going to cost me $2,400, and the fees are $2.50 from the exchange, which is crazy. So we're excited to see this in SCCX futures next week. It'll be /SCCX. The index here is SCCX colon SME, and you can see. Look at across these, this market's up 3% and the Bitcoin futures are up 5%, right in the same realm, a high correlation here. And what'll be nice is that the margin on this will be well under $1,000, and the fees on this will be 15 cents for non-community members, and our community members paying just 7 cents. So a lot of stuff to think about when day trading Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies on the whole, but hopefully you got the mechanics and some products and just some general concepts to do it the next time you see a big move in Bitcoin. And that'll do it for today's small stakes here. Having an absolute blast. Market is moving on Thursday afternoon. We're going to get a bunch of trades on the board next. Splash into futures with Peter Momat. Thanks for watching, everybody.